Yeah, welcome once again to my channel. Thanks for staying by. Today we're going to talk about tax avoidance or tax evasion. Yeah, the reason why I'm doing this video is I find out that this avoidance and evasion are confusing people a lot. It's not as if we don't know it. It's not as if you don't know it. But you don't know which one is which at times. It comes to your mind and it confuses you. Hey, which one is avoidance? Which one is evasion? It becomes a problem. Recently, a friend of mine called me that please I should differentiate these two things for him and make it in such a way that he can understand it and differentiate the two. I told him, okay, do you know what you will do now? Just know that tax avoidance is legal, evasion is illegal. Tax avoidance, you are using loopholes to pay less tax, but evasion is deliberately not paying tax, which is a criminal offense. You can be jailed. So whenever you hear evasion, just know that you're going to jail. Let it ring in your mind: jail, prison, evasion, prison, evasion, prison, evasion, prison. So each time you hear evasion, what comes to his mind is prison. He will know that is what? An illegal means of not paying your tax, which is a criminal offense. But avoidance is legal. Avoidance is legal. Using the loopholes, taking advantage of the loopholes in the tax law to pay less tax. So let's dive in and see what we can come out with. Tax avoidance. Tax avoidance is the legal practice of minimizing one's tax liability. Minimizing one's tax liability through lawful means. It involves using legal methods, exceptions, and what deduction provided by tax law towards reduced amount of taxable income. You can utilize on those methods, exemption and deduction, to reduce the amount of what? Your taxable income. Now, let's look at this method deduction that we can use take to reduce our taxable income. One, contributing to charity organization or political parties. Mind you, not all political parties, not all charity organizations. There must be those ones authorized by the tax authority. So when you contribute money to political party, organization, charity organization, you are leveraging on some deductions that can reduce your tax liability. Why? Because this amount will be what? They are deductible. They are allowable. So it can reduce your tax liabilities. Now, secondly, your credit, your tax credit. Now, if you're familiar with tax promise, you find out that when filing your CIT, and if you have maybe some withholding that maybe the people you engage in business with must have deducted and remitted to the FRS, to the tax authority. You check your credit note, you see the money there. I filed one for a client and he's supposed to pay 1.5 million as his tax liability, and he's having about 5 million. Is it 5 or 4? Yes, I know he's having above the amount there that he can utilize, that the tax credit that is there. So he was not saying, okay, let us raise a check, that he wants to raise a check so that I can. So I said, no, you have money with FRS, that there is no point raising a check again. We can use this money here to offset your tax liability. These are what the method you can utilize to reduce your tax liability or not to pay at all, because you cannot be having money with FRS and you are paying FRS again. You understand? So we just utilize the tax credit there and pay off the amount. But mind you, the tax credit there cannot be used to offset EDT, education this in tax. No, it cannot be used to offset education tax. So that is that about it. Now, the next one is what? Investing in capital assets. You can invest in capital assets such as land, real estate, equipment, motor vehicle, and all that, which you are going to recapitalize. This go a long way reducing what? The amount of your tax liabilities. If you're supposed to pay 2 million by purchasing all this, you capitalize them, you find out that your tax liability is reducing. You might not understand it without you get it. Now, utilizing deductions. You can utilize deductions using expenses, allowable expenses, medical expenses. They are all what? Deduction that you can use. Or per se, you can say, let me use deduction. What else can I use? Is it pension? Okay, let us add these two together. Employee benefits. You can use pension, NHIS. Use other allowable expenses to reduce your tax liability. So these are the techniques and method, exemptions and deduction that you can use to reduce your what? Your tax liability. Now, let's check tax evasion. Tax evasion is the illegal act of deliberately not paying the tax you owe. That is just it. Deliberately not paying the tax you owe. You are owing 2 million, you don't want to pay at all. You are owing 5 million as your tax liability, you don't want to pay. Now, what are those things that you can do that can make you go to jail because you want to evade tax? Let's take a look at them. Underreporting income. You made 5 million as your income, but when reporting in your financial statement, you decided to report 1 million. This is a criminal offense. It is what? A criminal offense. You will go to jail because of this. 2, offshore account. Having multiple accounts. Maybe you have 5 accounts. You're operating 5 accounts with 5 banks. And when reporting your financial statement, you only use 2. You only use 2. Like recently, currently, I'm among the team that is auditing a particular company. And do you know what happened? You don't know what. He has 5 bank statements that he do use. And we began to analyze those bank statements. Analyze because we want to set up accounting system, so we need to start from scratch. We analyze, and we found that there's an amount from one of these 5 banks. They transferred money from here to another bank that is not among these. And we called him and said, what happened? Where did this money go to? Who is the owner of that bank? He said that he's the owner. We say, bring that bank statement. It becomes 6. In the process again, we discover a transfer again to another bank. We say, bring that statement. Finally, we now discover that he has a domiciliary account, dollar account. We say, bring that statement. We say, why can't you just disclose all these accounts to us so that we set up this thing for you? Now, you might think that you are running away. You don't want to pay much tax. When the tax authority asks you to what? Bring your bank statement, and you come with these 5. They just want to what? They just want to, to test your sincerity. The tax authority have every access to all your bank statements. When I mean all, all your banks. All they need to do is to use your BVN and get it all for you, because they just want to test your sincerity, and they will say, come with your bank statement. So whenever tax authority asks you to come with your bank statement, please go with all your bank statements. Don't hide some and say they won't know. They know. So that is that. Forced deduction. Forced deduction. Claiming deduction for expenses that you are not legitimately incurred to reduce the taxable income. Maybe, for example, you say that I incurred expenses of 5 million naira. Then if you want to report, you now say the expenses you incurred is 10 million naira. That is forceful now. That is a criminal offense now. You need to be in prison now. What do you say? That is that. Black marketing activity. Not reporting all your income. You have source of income. You have source of income A, B, C, D, and you only report A and B. Then C and D, you are hiding it. That is black market activities. You can go to jail because of this. That is what? Evasion. Now, identity was fraud. Using fake information to manipulate tax filing. Fake information to manipulate filings so that you will not pay tax. Why must you use fake information? Using fake bank statements, using fake this, fake that. So that is just that about tax evasion and tax avoidance. Now, in summary, I think this good and I think this bad. Here, if you engage in this, you find yourself in prison. But if you engage in this, that means you know the tax law very well and you can navigate the tax law to get your client a good sum of amount to pay. You can really maintain your client when you know your tax law, because with this you pay less tax and your client will be happy with you. Your client will retain you and you move on. He can recommend it to others that you know the tax law and you're using those loopholes to reduce his tax liability. He can recommend it to his friends. Yes. But when you are using this, you are putting your client in problem. So it's better you advise your clients to stop evading tax. Yes, stop it. Thank you very much.